Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Wheel, and this is another segment of 1804 history. Before I start, I want to say like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Yeah, we got a special episode tonight, and when I hear about this story, um it just shows how evil and how corrupted this American justice system is. Sometimes they do their jobs and sometimes they don't. And when you basically have to, do a crime that you ain't commit and sentenced to death, it's the worst thing ever. And just by me like doing research on this particular topic, I couldn't help but to feel bad for the man and anybody who ever been in that position or in that situation. And this type of stuff still goes on today. A lot of people don't really understand that the movie Life is really like um, a tale of two innocent people that basically did life in prison for a crime that they didn't commit. But in this case, this person was sentenced to death, to die by lethal injection. And pretty much, this story is about unfairness, racism, lies, corruption, and everything. So pretty much the movie Just Mercy is basically the movie about his life, but really didn't get the chance to, tell everything because it was a lot of people involved with the cover up and stuff. And this guy was pretty much a normal man, a blue collar man, what I'm saying, from Alabama who worked all his life, been honest, and was pretty much a father of nine children, married and everything. So what happened was somebody went and killed this 18-year-old white girl in the cleaners. And all this happened in a small town of Monroeville, Alabama. So this white girl was killed by an unknown assailant in the cleaners. So since the police department didn't know who did this crime and did the murder, the townspeople was getting upset because they don't really be having murders like that. So they needed somebody to take the fall. They needed somebody to, be arrested for the crime. Otherwise, it was going to be a riot. It was going to be some problems in that community. Alabama always been pretty much a segregated place to live. And it just was always like that. And they went and singled out Johnny D and pretty much put him under arrest 7 months after the crime because a new sheriff was elected to office. So they went and got him and questioned him and told him that we're going to put you on charge for murder. And not only um, you're going to be sentenced, but you're going to be convicted of death. You're going to be tried by an all-white jury, and we gonna make up this evidence. We gonna make sure that you get locked up for this crime because we can't find the person that really did it. So you're gonna take the fall. And I just think that's just fucked up, man. And what's crazy is that he didn't go to the county jail. He got shipped to the death row unit before he went on trial. Which is unfair, you know what I'm saying? It's really illegal. You know, you ain't so really supposed to do stuff like that, but they just wanted to have them get used to it because there weren't going to be no other people who was going to, you know, be found guilty. So they wanted him to get used to it. So before he went on trial, and his trial lasted for 2 days, and he was found guilty of capital murder and was sentenced to death in 1987. And these was pretty much a lot of people who was on death row with him. And there was another man who was also tried by an all-white jury as well, who was an innocent man too. He later got out, but obviously this man didn't have a fair trial. This man just was treated unfairly. Um, there didn't have no evidence that he was there. He was at home when the crime was being committed. You know, he was donating money, pretty much trying to like get people to donate to a church. So they was he was at a fish fry, and 30 people um told the police like, "Hey, y'all got the wrong man. Y'all got the wrong person. He was at home with us at his house. You know, at the fish fry or whatever." So police pretty much wasn't trying to listen. You know, they was just like, you know, whatever. You know, we ain't trying to hear that and everything. So we got our man. Case closed. So it was a young lawyer by the name of Brian Stevenson who came all the way from Delaware and met up with him and told him like, okay, we're gonna do our best to get you acquitted for these charges and stuff. So it was like in the course of 5 years, but in the movie they sped it up. You know what I'm saying? Of course they did that, but it was in the course of 5 years, and he had five appeals that got denied. But the last appeal um, had to reach to the Supreme Court, and they went to a little bit of everybody who testified, and it was a black guy that also um, testified and said that he saw his truck outside the cleaners, and he was rewarded. And a lot of people had, you know, lied on the stand and said that they saw him, but he wasn't there. And even the black guy got compensated like $5,000 each, you know, for testifying and afterwards. So it was just a lot of corruption, police corruption, and just the fact that he was having an affair with a local white woman down there. So that just made him public enemy number one. And was just like, you know, we don't like you, you know, sleeping with white women and, you know, going and telling her that we don't like you sleeping with black men. So we're gonna make an example out of you and stuff. So during the investigation and looking over the case, Mr. Stevenson was harassed by local police department. Judges refused to hear him out. And oh yeah, I missed this part of the story. Well, Johnny D case was transferred to a different district, to a different county, pretty much an all-white county, and so he can have a fair trial, but he still didn't have a fair trial. But he was sentenced to die by lethal injection and everything. and they took his case to the Supreme Court, and all charges were dropped in 1993, and he was able to be acquitted, to be vindicated, and everything. And what I say about that is there are many stories like that that happens every day, and that's why it's just best to stay at home. It's best not to go anywhere. It's just best to be with your family sometimes because you can get caught up in something that you didn't do. And I just feel like a lot of people just don't think about what can possibly happen. I'm trying to have fun, I'm trying to live my life, but you just never know what can happen. You just never know what could take place. And luckily, he was at home with his family and having a good time on a Sunday morning and stuff. Otherwise, he would have not been acquitted. But yeah, it was just unfortunate because there's no telling how much trauma. He missed 5 years of his life. They took away 5 years of his life. You be on death row, just almost said death row records. But yeah, you be on death row, waiting to die, and you innocent. And this happens every day. That's why I say everybody who be found guilty of a crime, a lot of people need to understand that a lot of us don't do these crimes. A lot of us just be handpicked because a lot of people don't want to do their jobs. Police don't want to do their jobs like that. And it's unfortunate that, people get caught up in certain situations and that they will never get out of. And he was never the same. He suffered PTSD, anxiety, depression, and he died back in 2003. But it just feels good, seeing him walk out of that Alabama prison, smiling, being able to see his family, see his grandchildren. I don't know if he got paid or compensated for that, but just the fact that he was able to live out the rest of his years with his family and the people that he loved. But 20 years, yeah, 20 years, yep. I'm sorry, he passed in 2013. But yeah, this happens every day. This happens a lot. And reading this story really breaks my heart. There's no telling what could have went down if people did their jobs and did what they're supposed to do. Because you're playing with people's lives. And that's not fair. That wasn't fair for him, wasn't fair for his family, wasn't fair for the victim's family, because everybody lost in this situation. I guess her case is still cold and everything because they wanted to blame a black man for this situation, and we just got to do better. We just got to love each other instead of hate each other. But yeah, the movie, really opened my eyes a lot more. That's why I stay to myself. That's why I stay by myself, and that's why I stay home most of the days because I don't want to get caught up in nothing. Nobody can say that I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do, and that's what saved his life. Just the fact that he was where he was supposed to be. And sometimes you got to be where you supposed to be, where you need to be, not where you want to be. But yeah, that includes his story. And hope everybody liked the topic. Everybody um just hear me out and everything like that. If you want to do the research and do the reading thing and do the watch documentary thing, I will leave some links down in the description box or in the comments section, whatever. And just have a good night. And I thank y'all for watching. And again, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Peace.